Many travelers swear that merino wool is the absolute gold standard for packing light. But with improvements constantly being made with synthetic materials, is this still true? Today, I'll be comparing the two to see if one is truly better than the other and whether merino wool is worth paying that extra money for. Let's go! When it comes to packing light, one of the most important criteria to consider are which fabrics to choose for your travel capsule wardrobe. You want fabrics that don't take up too much room, are fairly wrinkle resistant, and most importantly, can be worn multiple times without having to be washed. For years, I've heard that merino wool is the only fabric to consider. But as someone who spends a good deal of time in activewear, I wondered if the newer synthetic options might be just as good and with a lower price tag. So I figured it was time to put them both to a test and see which might be the ultimate travel fabric. I decided to test them on 5 different criteria: smell, moisture wicking, durability, packability, and one of my most important, style and versatility. And recently on a girls' hiking trip to Roanoke, Virginia, I had the perfect opportunity to test both fabrics out during some very long and very sweaty hikes along the Appalachian Trail. I wore this synthetic shirt by Kalya, which I think is part of Dick's Sporting Goods. I just picked it up a couple of days before I left. It has new odor control properties, and I wore that for our 5.5-hour road trip travel day, plus a 2-mile nature walk exploring the natural bridge area. I also then wore it for another 5-mile hike up to the Dragon's Tooth lookout off of the Appalachian Trail, which was incredibly cool. As for merino wool, I wore this tank and I put it to the test during our longest hike, which was 8 miles on Virginia's most popular hike, the McAfee Knob Trail. So let's see how they each scored on the different criteria, starting with the biggest one for many of us, especially when traveling to warmer destinations: odor resistance. Merino wool is famous for this. It's naturally antimicrobial, meaning it resists odor without any special coatings or chemicals. As for synthetic materials like polyester and nylon, they are hydrophobic, meaning they don't absorb moisture well, but what they do absorb are body oils from your skin, which can kind of become a breeding ground for odor-causing bacteria. And way back in the day when I was running a lot of half marathons, I had quite a few shirts that ultimately became unwearable because of the stank. But over the past several years, companies have started using treatments like silver ions, which are actually embedded in the fabric. And these ions are antimicrobial, also inhibiting the growth of bacteria that cause odor. Unfortunately, over time, these ions will wash out, sometimes only lasting 20 to 50 washes. Another option used by companies is silver salt, and I think the commercial name is called Polygiene, and it's a version of silver chloride and is applied during the final production stage, and it also prevents the growth of bacteria on the fabric itself. It is supposed to last the lifetime of the piece of clothing and is also considered more sustainable. Beyond silver treatments, companies are also experimenting with copper ions, zinc oxide, and even some natural alternatives like chitosan, which is a biopolymer that is derived from shellfish, and plant-based oils like peppermint. These newer treatments aim to be either more cost-effective or more sustainable than traditional silver-based options. It will be very interesting to test these newer versions as they become available. So how smelly were the shirts after all of the hiking in hot and humid conditions? Good morning! We are starting our longest hike of the weekend today, and I am wearing the merino wool t-shirt to check and see how it does. We're doing about 8 miles and it is supposed to be about 80 degrees today, and it is almost 90% humidity. So it is going to be a sweaty one. A good day to test out this shirt. Third day of hiking, second day of wearing the synthetic shirt. So we're going to see how this holds up to lots of sweat and high humidity and a very hard trail today. Let us know at the end.
It's time to pack up and go home. So which of these shirts held up the best for the smell test? This one went on a 8-mile, very, very sweaty hike. This one went on a 2-mile trail walk and then another 5-mile hike. So let's sniff them out, shall we? Let's see. Don't really smell. I would give this an 8 out of 10 on smell. Like you can't really smell anything on that one. Let's see. And for the synthetic, definitely not bad. I mean, I would wear it again, but you can smell a little bit of odor. You probably get one more day out of this, and you probably get maybe a couple more days out of this. So I do think the merino wool might win out on the smell test.
Okay, so starting off, merino wool has a slight edge over the synthetics on the stinky test. But what about moisture management, like sweat and drying time? Let's talk about sweat first, since I gave both of these shirts a really solid test during these very humid hikes. As you can see here, when I took my backpack off at the top of the hike, the merino wool tank was totally soaked through and very wet. Where, as you can see in this video where I'm at the top of Dragon's Tooth climbing around on the rocks, the synthetic shirt isn't holding my sweat at all, doing what synthetics do best, wicking that moisture away from my body. I thought it was also important to test which material would dry fastest in a sink washing situation, as many of us need to do that mid-trip. I'm back from our weekend of hiking and I have my two dirty shirts with me. I want to try to replicate what it would be like to wash these in a sink in a hotel or an Airbnb or whatever might be the case, so that we can test out to see which of these is going to dry faster and actually ultimately wash better when you are on the road if you have to wash in a sink or a tub or something like that. So I am going to use my laundry detergent sheets to wash each of these shirts, and then I'm going to hang them up in my bathroom, and we're going to see how long it takes for these shirts to dry. If they are dry, let's see, it is early in the morning. Well, not early in the morning. It's probably about 8 a.m. right now. And we'll see if they're dry by tonight or if it takes a full 24 hours for them to dry. Okay, it's been about 9 hours since the shirts were washed, and they are both completely dry. I will say the synthetic one might be still a little damp on the hem. No, I think it's pretty dry. Both of them are dried really fast, and it is kind of humid outside, but I do have the AC on in the house, so that might have helped dry them out a little bit quicker. But I mean, 9 hours, they'll dry overnight. If you wash them in the sink and hang them up to dry, they'll be dry again the next day, which is great, both of them. And I can't say that one wins out over the other. So they both dry very quickly. Yay! The third criteria is packability, and I think this is a great time to introduce today's sponsor, TomToc. I've been using the TomToc Navigator backpack for months now in my quest for becoming a lighter packer. And of course, that includes using it for our trip to Virginia. It's the perfect size for those long weekend trips like this one. What I love about the Navigator is that it's deceptively spacious. On the outside, it looks like your everyday stylish backpack, but open it up and it's like a tiny little suitcase in backpack form. I fit all my clothes, my tech gear, toiletries, and even a pair of backup shoes, maybe even two, in there without feeling like I'm sacrificing anything. But what really makes this pack special for me are the smart compartments. There's a spot for my laptop, an easy access zip pocket in the front where I stash that additional tech gear and maybe some snacks, and then this hidden pocket on the top, which is perfect for my passport and wallet, especially when going through security or customs. Another thing I really appreciate is that it doesn't scream tourist. The design is sleek and modern. Whether I'm hopping off of a plane or joining the girls for a hiking trip, I don't feel like I'm lugging around a bulky travel bag or heavy suitcase. And since today's video is all about packing smart, choosing pieces that are lightweight, versatile, and easy to rewear, it only makes sense to pair that strategy with a backpack that helps me stay organized and streamlined. If you've been looking for the perfect minimalist carry-on for quick trips, I can't recommend the TomToc Navigator enough. I'll have it linked below so you can check it out for yourself. Now, which of these fabrics works best for packability? Well, that really depends on the type of clothing you are packing. With these two tank tops, the merino wool is actually a little less bulky. But if you were to compare a merino wool hoodie jacket or sweater to like a dry fit jacket, the merino wool is probably going to be a little bit thicker. The same with winter base layers. But that being said, I do find that merino wool basics like t-shirts are going to take up less space than synthetics. So I'm going to say that in this category, they basically tied, and it's really going to depend on the clothing you're packing. Now, let's talk about durability, because when you are investing in travel pieces, especially as a woman over 40 who values quality over quantity, you want pieces that will last through multiple trips and adventures. Merino wool has some interesting durability characteristics. The natural fibers are actually quite resilient and have a kind of natural elasticity that helps them bounce back from wrinkles and stretching. However, merino wool can be prone to pilling, especially in areas where there's friction, like under your arms or maybe even where your backpack straps sit. The thinner the merino wool, the more delicate it kind of tends to be. And this is exactly what happened with my favorite merino wool hoodie. There's a lot of pilling under the arms and really kind of all over the jacket. Synthetic fabrics, on the other hand, are generally more durable in terms of resisting tears and maintaining their shape. They're less likely to pill and can handle a little bit rougher treatment. However, they can start to look worn or faded more quickly. And once they develop permanent odors, which, we talked about earlier, there's really no bringing them back. After putting both of these shirts through the ringer on our Virginia trip, stuffing them in and out of my backpack, giving them a good solid sink washing, and wearing them for those extremely long active days, the synthetic shirt looked almost brand new, while the merino tank shows the beginning of just a little bit of pilling under the arms. Our final category, style and versatility, might be the most important category for many of us, especially those of us over 40 who want to look put together, whether we're hiking on a trail or grabbing a nice dinner in town. And here's where I think there is a significant difference. Merino wool just has this natural drape and feel that looks more elevated. It doesn't have the athletic gym clothes appearance that many synthetic fabrics can have. The merino tank I tested could easily transition from our morning hike to lunch at a nice restaurant in town if I switched into a cute skirt, sandals, and maybe some fun little earrings. Synthetic fabrics have come a long way in terms of style, but they still tend to look more obviously athletic. The Calya shirt I tested was definitely cute and well designed, but it screamed workout clothes. And honestly, it wasn't the most flattering look when I saw myself in pictures later. And that's not necessarily bad if you're planning an active trip, but if you're trying to pack light and need pieces that can do double duty, merino wool is definitely your choice here. For women over 40, I think this versatility becomes even more important. We often want pieces that can take us from day to night and from casual to slightly more dressed up without looking like we just came from the gym. So merino wool, yeah, it's definitely the winner of this category. Now, I know merino wool costs more upfront. We're talking $40 to $80 for a quality merino tee versus $15 to $30 for a synthetic t-shirt. But when you factor in versatility and how many different outfits one piece can create, the cost per wear often evens out. So after testing both fabrics across the 5 criteria, here is how they ultimately scored. For odor resistance, merino wool has a very slight edge. Number 2 was moisture management, and the synthetic fabric won that round. For packability, it was basically a tie and really depends on the type of clothing that you're packing. Number 4 was durability. Once again, the synthetic came out on top. And finally, with the last criteria for style and versatility, the decisive winner was merino wool. So overall, it is basically a tie. But here is my take for women over 40 planning their travel wardrobes. Choose merino wool if you are going on trips where you need or want to look polished. You're traveling to cooler climates, you prioritize natural fibers and sustainability, or you're planning a long trip where re-wearing the same clothes is going to be essential. But consider choosing synthetic if you are planning a very active trip, you're traveling to hot and humid destinations, durability is your main concern, and you just prefer easy care and quick drying clothes. Let me know in the comments below, are you team merino wool or team synthetic? And if you found any game-changing brands I should test out, drop those below too, because I'm always looking for new items to review. But regardless of which fabric you choose, you should watch this video next on how to launder those clothes when you are traveling. Thanks again to TomToc for sponsoring this video, and a big thank you to you for choosing to watch this video today. I hope you have safe and wonderful travels.